Okay, we got our new shipment in today. First of all, we got Machi Koro. This one's actually the deluxe edition. We also got the regular version back in. But if you're considering getting at least one expansion for Machi Koro, there's zero reason not to get the deluxe version, because basically the deluxe version is $49.99 and the regular box version is $29.99. And the expansions are like $19.99 each. So basically, when you get the deluxe version, you're basically getting buy one get one free on the expansion. So, and not only that, it has a couple of bonus items in there. It has a couple extra cards and custom dice bag and a little extra dice thing. So if you're considering at least getting one expansion for Machi Koro, just you might as well go all the way and just get them the deluxe edition, because it's there's really no reason not to, if you're able to. So, let's see, we got Catan Explorers and Pirates back in. This is like the probably the latest. It came out a little while ago, but it's like the latest expansion for Catan, and it changes things up quite a bit. And it's probably the biggest expansion, size-wise and component-wise, of all the different Catan expansions. Let's see if we could compare a couple of these. Like, well, for example, this is the 5 to 6 player expansion for it, compared to the old the other 5 to 6 player expansion. So you can see it adds a good chunk, and there's a lot of extra, a lot more bits in the other expansions that you'll see out there for the Catan series. But this one I haven't played myself yet, but it's been one expansion I've really been wanting to get on my list. My must play list is so huge I can't even get hardly any of them off my list. Let's see what else we got in here. See, we got Balderdash back in, kind of classic, especially the Christmas seasons with family coming in. It's a solid one for a party type game. We got Take the Ride, the India map, the India and Switzerland actually. So it's like 2 maps in one. If you ever played any of the Ticket to Ride games, basically there's a bunch of different maps available for it. So if you have like any of the base games, you could just get the map, and it just changes things up quite a bit. So we got, let's see what else we got in here. I think we got our regular version of, yeah, we got the original US version back in stock. If you're unaware of the other versions of it, there's the Nordic version, the Nordic countries version. That'd be the one there on the left. Basically, that one that you play as a 2 or 3 players game. So if you like Ticket to Ride, but it's kind of it's a little wanting in being too open and not much interaction, the Nordic version is a really good one for 2 or 3 players. It's kind of designed to be a 2-player game. It's a little bit more, has a reputation for being a little more cutthroat. And of course, there's the Europe version, and my personal favorite is the Markland version. The Europe version has introduces train stations, among other things, which basically, if you're frustrated by the original one, where you get blocked off from your routes, train stations, you're spending points so you could be able to complete your routes if you want to do that. And the Markland one gets rid of the longest route, and in its place puts in passengers. So you can launch passengers along the train and get points off the different train stations as you go. You pick up little point chips, and that's my favorite one, just because it feels more strategic in the way they do the longest route type of thing. Let's see, and we got Small World Underground back in. Small World, it's kind of Risk-like, except there's no player elimination, and we got the original one up here. Can't really get to it, it's kind of awkward. But actually, if you we get the Small Realms expansion, you could combine the original game and Underground into one big game. I call it Medium World at that point, but that's kind of my little ongoing joke. But let's see. We also got kind of slowed out on Settlers of Catan. For those who haven't seen the newer box, they did change up the art a little bit, but the old versions are still compatible. And it's a bigger box. They raised the price a little bit, but they, in their defense, they haven't really raised their prices on Catan in such a long time. Then if you also notice, they kind of dropped the Settlers of title. I'm sure it's just a branding, marketing issue, or not issue, but reasonings. So, it's a real easier to remember Catan rather than Settlers of Catan. It's a bit much to get off the tongue. So we got a couple more of those copies, and got Ticket to Ride Europe. I explained how the train stations work on that. And we got Dominion Intrigue back in. Intrigue is unique where it's of all the different Dominion expansions where basically it's a standalone or an expansion. And actually if you combine it with the other game, you actually add more players. So that's a real nice, because 4 feels a little limiting at times. We also got the Catan 5 to 6 player expansion in. And see the Europe expansion. Someone bought that when they bought the other game too. And we got Karma. I haven't played this one, but the set has a real solid reputation. They're most well known for 5 Crowns and Quiddler and a couple other ones. But that's see, Karma I haven't played, so I can't really say a lot. But their whole line is really accessible to a wide range of people. So even from light gamers, kind of casual, kickback type of thing. And LCR we got restock of. A lot of people in this area really like it. It's kind of basically it's a gambling game. It's a roll the dice and you make some simple choices. But if you put some money involved, or chips, I'll just say chips, makes it a little more interesting. But it's real popular for those reasons. And see, we also had a customer called in about a week or so ago, or less than a week, about Dark Stories, which unfortunately I told him I wasn't able to get it, but I was able to get it because we're able to was trying to order another game, which we had to reach out to a further warehouse anyway, so was able to get that limit and be able to get them in. We just got the second versions and the 2 different versions. We don't have the original version in at the moment. Basically, if you're familiar with an old game called Crack the Case, it's kind of a, let's see if they'll show up or not. It's kind of a riddle type mystery where they'll have like a little description of what goes on, what's happening in the scene. Someone get killed. Usually it's murder mystery type related. And on the other side, the person, there'll be a bunch of answers and facts that are on the back about the scenario. And it's basically a game of 20 questions. So the other players is trying to resolve the mystery. So if you like that Crack the Case, if you like Clue and mysteries and solving things, it's a really good one. What that customer wanted to get for, because they wanted something to do in a car, like on long trips. Because it's a game where you can't do that. You just like read the card, and you don't have to take your eyes off the road, which is bad. Especially all those stupid texting people. You don't want to do that. Texting while driving is dumb. But anyway, you can solve murders while mysteries, solve murders while driving, so that's safe enough. So just not committing them. And what else we got in here? Our finally ones. We got some more. Got some box bands. We got a bunch of game accessories in. These are like several different sizes. The box bands, basically these are a big H style or crisscross type of rubber band to keep your box closed, your game box, because it doesn't take much for the things to pop open and pieces fall out, and just a big mess when that happens. So that's a real handy thing to keep it closed. There's other options I use, like elastic. Go to the craft store, but a lot of people are really liking the box bands for that. But there's a lot of other not expansions, but accessories that I use and we sell in the store here. We got this. I'm not sure how you say this. Taeyong. I call it static tape just to keep it simple. But basically, it's a kind of tape where it just doesn't stick with adhesive. It sticks with kind of like friction, kind of like those static window stickers you stick on your window. So it'll stick to anything like real smooth, but not putting an adhesive on it. So what we use on it, it's like what we use it for is like basically you put it around your cards and you hold your cards together in your game boxes so they don't go flying. Rubber bands are a bad idea, especially over the long term for something like this. Just because the rubber bands could start deteriorating and they'll literally glue themselves to the card or the game box. So I mean the box isn't as big a deal, but if you're trying to rubber band some cards, it could be a real problem if you actually get the rubber band stuck to it. The other thing we all like to use a lot is basically reclosable bags. These specific ones that we carry are 4 millimeters thick. You don't. I tried to do 2 millimeters, and they still don't hold up over the long haul. Why I really like these, and they really help with games, is other than just organizing your game pieces and putting them together. So what I'll do, I'll write on the game on the bag. These have like the white writable blocks. So we'll write on them, and what happens is like at the end of the game, everybody knows exactly where everything goes. So you're not having the one person that owns the game putting everything away. So we got three different sizes, and it really helps out. Just boom, everything's away. You're off to the next game. You're not wasting a lot of time. Plus, if you label them, organize and label them properly, you can say, here's your stuff player 1, here's your stuff player 2. So it's really helpful for that. And of course, a lot of gamers really are familiar with card sleeves. Basically, there's a lot of different types of card sleeves, of different sizes. We have there's a website that we use that we can look them up and figure out what sleeves you need for your games. That basically protects your sleeves, especially if you have a game that's out of print, you're not going to be able to get again. It's kind of nice to be able to protect them so they last for a long time. And so a lot of other accessories are obviously the real nice dice bags, dice card boxes. The mini poker chips are really nice. I had one customer that bought some. Basically, they were using them to replace like game resources. They come in a lot of different colors. So basically, they're stackable as well. So you pull your resources out and they stack right in front of you really easily. The big mess. So it's real handy to do that. It's also obviously a good replacement for like paper money. A lot of people get annoyed by paper money, and your chips are a little easier to handle and deal with. So, and our last thing we got here is the card claw. Card claw basically is it's just a chunk of wood with some slats, and you can put your playing cards in there when you're playing. If you have games with a lot of cards, it's kind of nice, so you're not holding up the cards a lot. I was just thinking today, if you ever played the game Hanabi, which is a multiplayer solitaire type game where you have to hold up your cards in front of everybody else, where you can see your back, where you have to, you can't look at the front of your cards, you can only see the back of them. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. But it's kind of nice to be able to do that, where you just have them like sitting in that little card claw, so you don't have to hold them the whole time, the whole game. Your arm gets tired and gets annoying. So you just have them in front of you, and you can move them around, be organized, and it's just real handy overall. So, and for our last thing, we got some stuff coming in next week. It should be Wednesday, and one of the things was the empty spot here was like the first edition of Dark Stories, because there's like basically it's Dark Stories 1, I guess you call it, even though it's probably not numbered. Then you got Dark Stories 2, then you got the Twisted Tales from Real Crime Cases type 1. So we got that coming back in, but more importantly, we got 4 copies of Steel Canyon, this expansion. There's 4 copies of Flick 'em Up, which has been real hard to come by. We got, here's the example of the expansion. Basically, it's a disc flicking game. So it's a dexterity type game where you're flicking the disc and trying to hit the other people. It's all Western themed. And we got 4 more of those coming in. Should be Wednesday. So when they go, they go. They've been real popular and really hard to come by. But it's a real blast when you play it. So it's hard to see. There we go. And you got the nice little wood little towns or buildings, and you got the little guys, and you're flicking a disc and shooting each other. There's a bunch of different scenarios. And we'll have those 4 of them back on Wednesday. So if you're interested in them, you probably want to contact the store and let us know, because we're only got 4 and it looks like they've blown out really quick. And that's about it. We'll talk to you next time.